just finished up with a lesson with Vic, and first we got to start with is Vic had a lot of sports injuries, and so he had some limitations with his body that he had a hard time doing what we needed to do to be consistent and hit the ball pretty much square the club face at impact and hit the sweet spot. So the first thing we had to do is we got to get you warmed up. So before, this is for anybody, so before you actually get up and hit your first ball, especially if you want to work on your driver, which that's what we worked with Vic on, is you got to stretch. So what we want to do is, what are the muscles that you need to stretch in your body? Well, it's the big muscles. It's your core, it's your lat muscles, okay? It's our hips, and it starts from the ground up. So what I suggest you do is do a quick routine that'll help you stretch those muscles from the ground up. So the first thing I do is I want to stretch out my hamstrings and my calves. So I just come down here like this and just try to keep my back straight and just feel my hips drop, and make sure you breathe. So breathe in your nose, make your belly big, and then breathe out your mouth. So I go here, and I go a little bit deeper, and that'll help stretch out those muscles from the ground up, okay? You can do your calf stretch. You just hold the club like this, and push into that calf muscle, and help stretch that out. The next thing we got to do is we got to warm up our swingers, okay? Our upper body, our trunk. So I want to be able to feel that lat muscle right here and pull. So I come this way and I go down, and that'll help stretch out that lat muscle that we need to be able to turn through. So I go both ways, and all these stretches you hold for about 20 seconds. Make sure you do each side, and make sure you're breathing, okay? The last thing I do is I like to always teach the pivot drill, because that's what really the golf swing, this is our motor right here, okay? This is really what's truly hitting the golf ball, okay? It connects everything to the club. So to get my motor going, I start out small, working on my shoulder plane, keeping that shoulder on this line, and then I just keep my trunk moving. Then I go a little bit faster. Okay, that's going to help warm up your core muscle, and that's dynamic stretching. That's what we want to do right before we actually get our practice routine and hitting balls. Okay, so do that before you go and actually hit balls when you're practicing, or before you go and play. And you know, Roger Fredericks has a great stretching book where he goes through all the different stretches throughout your body, so you can add more or take out less, but those are the main ones I would suggest at least you do before you actually go on to hit balls. Now, what we worked on with Vic is worked on swing path, and worked on trying to keep him from coming up and down. He was coming up about 2.5 to 3 inches from setup to impact. So he was coming up, and then he had to come down. That's a lot of movement when you only have about, you know, half of an inch on the club face, especially with the driver. The other thing that causes is it's hard to square the club face to your target when you're moving up and down, because when you're moving up and down, you're not turning as much. Okay, so what we really focused on with Vic is his shoulders, okay, turning back and through, and we really focused on trying not to overswing. So he'd get past parallel and he would come up. Well, if we just stopped more 3/4 swing and his shoulders were still about almost 90-degree turn, he's still getting that power and that torque, but he's able to hit more of the sweet spot consistently because he's not coming up and down 2 to 3 inches. And the next thing we worked on is from the top of the swing down through impact. So we got Vic here, okay, loaded up. We use the Pivot Pro. This just helped him to get that feedback of what really starts the downswing. Starts from the feet. So you want to feel that motion of that turning, not sliding. So we turn in and we continue to swing all the way through to the target. So it's got to be in rhythm, but more importantly, you got to square the face. You got to hit the sweet spot. So we do that just by keeping it simple, rotating back and through. You don't want to have more than one swing thought, and the swing thought needs to be always to the target. Too many times we play golf behind us, so we focus too much on the backswing, everything here, and then what do we forget about? We forget about the target. So I told Vic, do a motion before in your pre-shot routine. So this is the one I suggest you do. Hold it up, grip, so you can feel the club head. Okay, and turn. And now from this position, we want to stay in there, and then we want to rotate through impact. So get that feeling of the weight transferring because of your foot, not because of just your hands and your arms, the small muscles that are doing the swinging. We want to swing through with our big muscles. So transferring that weight, getting your right foot to be in this position after impact.